giving any fuzziness. Now it is 2 by 2 is system. So I have left hand side 4 plus alpha, 6 minus alpha. I am writing directly in terms of alpha cut, although these are in TFN. 4 plus alpha, 6 minus alpha, x1 tilde plus 5 plus alpha, 8 minus 2 alpha, x2, etc., etc. So I have 2 by 2 system. Again, convert this in terms of beta form, then solve that using your any programming language. So using symbolic programming, actually, you have to alpha beta because those are symbols. So with this, because I have done by hand to make you understand, so that is why this I can see here. So x1 alpha beta will be this expression and x2 alpha beta this is second expression. Now put different values of beta. So if I put beta equal to 0 and 1, so you'll get the interval solution as x1 lower alpha as this value 5 alpha square plus 28 alpha plus 55 by alpha square plus 7 alpha plus 14. This is the x1 lower alpha. Similarly, x1 upper alpha is the bottom one. So this is the solution. Now for interval solution, we need to have the different values of alpha. You put the different values of alpha 0, 0.1, 0.2, 1, etc. So you'll get different interval solutions for this interval system of, sorry, fuzzy system of equations. So I have shown, see, if x2 alpha 0, so this is the, sorry, this is the x1 values lower and upper because I have 2 by 2 system, remember. So I have two variables x1 and x2. So this is for x1 lower and x1 upper, and this is for x2 and x2 lower and x2 upper. Okay. Now, taking an application problem from static analysis, actually this is civil engineering problem. Anyway, so this is a simplified bridge. So this we have solved. See, I'm not again going into all those fuzzy, sorry, finite element. Actually, here we have used the fuzzy finite element. Finite element already known. There are very versatile packages are there, ANSYS and all, many packages are there. Here it is fuzzy finite element. But again, I need to divide these into elements, nodes, etc., etc. So here P1 tilde and P2 tilde are only two fuzzy loads. So for this nodal force, I want to find what is this P1 and P2 tilde. So I will have this data of simplified bridge. If you see the second column, case 1 is all crisp as usually we take. And if you insert these in ANSYS, you will get the solution. OK, but here in the case 2, if you see the P1 tilde and P2 tilde, so these are in terms of some beta or alpha, whatever means beta defines the uncertainty. OK, so here modulus of elasticity, etc. I have taken as crisp. OK. So these are the data. So with this data, we have solved. This is the equation. This is the plot. Lower and upper bounds of horizontal displacement at node 3. So what is your node 3? Node 3 is this P1 tilde at node 3. And remember, this is node 5, P2 tilde. So this for node 3, lower and upper bounds. This blue one is the lower bound. And this one is the upper bound because beta I have varied from 0 to 0.16, by the way. OK, so this is the uncertain solution of that problem for P1. Similarly, for lower and upper bound of the vertical displacement at node 5, this is the lower bound. That blue one is the lower bound, upper bound is the green one. And this some Friedman solved in 1998 that we have compared with beta equal to 30%. So these two third node and fifth node, this is Friedman solution for left one. So left and right all are exactly matching by our method. OK, so as I told, after this I will tell, means previously I already told the analytical methods for fuzzy ordinary differential. Those are all whatever I have told about system of equation, little bit about eigenvalue problem. So here we have defined different, we have actually proposed different methods: fuzzy center, addition and subtraction of fuzzy numbers, fuzzy center with fuzzy radius, then using double parametric form of fuzzy numbers. So these three I'm not going to show you. These we have already defined and means developed and used this in various practical problems. So last one I will show for some practical problem. First define this. Means understand these letters first. Fuzzy differential equation. So any differential equation, nth order ordinary differential equation, I can define by equation this. where this IIT is continuous on some interval. And if it is nth order ordinary differential equation, we need n conditions. So these are the conditions. And you see everywhere it is tilde. Tilde means uncertainty is there. So y tilde we need to find. So using R-cut or alpha cut approach, I can write this differential equation in terms of this interval. Okay, you see this R is there using subject to fuzzy initial condition because its initial condition is our also uncertain having tilde. So that also will be converted into R form, means with R. So I have in all these initial conditions, this R form means beta B0 lower R, B0 upper R, etc. So again, introducing the another parameter beta, I can convert this like this. Okay, the differential equation. And subject to the fuzzy initial condition using the same parameter beta. So I'll have this. And remember, R and beta belongs to 0 and 1. 0, 1, not 0 and 1, 0, 1 closed set. Now using this variable as some supposition. So using all these, because these slides, I think it will be shared with you later. So this you can see this G tilde, Y tilde, etc. So after putting this in the previous equation, we'll get this equation with fuzzy initial condition. Now you see this equation Y tilde n T R beta plus A n minus 1 T Y tilde n minus 1 T R beta. So you see here this differential equation has been converted into two parameter form, where you have two parameters as R and beta. Similarly in initial condition also. So we can solve symbolically again, put different values of R and beta, you will get the fuzzy or interval solution. Okay, so you see that U tilde TR0, that means beta is 0, is Y lower, and Y tilde TR1, that means beta is 1, is Y upper TR. Okay. Now take the electrical circuit, very means simple electrical circuits. This actually some author has taken in Buckley by Buckley 2001. So this is second order ordinary differential equation. After converting means all these putting and simplifying, we'll get this is the ordinary differential equation with respect to this electrical circuit, where the initial conditions are Q tilde 0 and Q dash 0 as 4 plus R, 6 minus R, R 2 minus R. Okay. So actually these are in TFN. Okay. So again, this exact solution, Buckley, I told this, he has already solved exact solution he found, and we will compare with this also that it was agreeing. So using T R beta, sorry, R beta, this is the equation. So subject to fuzzy initial condition, I already defined. So this solution directly can be written because it's very simple equation. So I can solve by hand also. So I will have this R beta form. So now substituting beta equal to 0 and 1, so you will have this in terms of R cut or R. Okay, so Q lower and Q upper, put the different values of R, you will get the fuzzy solution. Now this was the analytical solution. Come to the numerical method for fuzzy differential equation. So here we have developed again various methods. That's three I am just showing you. Those I am not going to, although fully discuss. This the first one is Euler type method. Second is improved Euler type method. Third one is weighted residuals method. So you know from your numerical methods, I don't know, I mean, I hope you know that you Euler method of solution of ordinary differential equation, then improved Euler method. Those we have extended to fuzzy sense. Then we have called this max mean Euler method. And second was average Euler method. Max mean means we actually solved for different combination and then took maximum and minimum. Okay, first minimum, then whole maximum. Similarly, average. So here also improved Euler also again the same procedure, and weighted residual I will show a little bit of this. Okay. So Euler's method, this is a simple that we used to do on the board in for BTech first year class, that is dx by dt is equal to xt, x0 is equal to some value, suppose 1. So here you see we have just put this x tilde 0 as TFN having three components, three elements, 0.75, 1, 1.125. So again, this can be written in terms of R cut. So exact solution for T is equal to 1, I can find directly here. Okay. So, no, sorry, this is differently actually some author has given. So using this Euler method, we have solved Actually Mytel, they have solved this in 1999. So this is their solution. As I told, as you vary R, you will get different interval solutions from 0 to 1. So this is exact value. This is Mytel. This is method 1 that I have already discussed. And this is method 2, last column. OK, so more or less, those are near to those solutions. OK, these are, remember, these are numerical solution. So exact will be better than this anyway. So, so this is again for the see, as we know, in Euler method, it depends what the value of H you take. OK, step size. So if you have H.1, this method 1, method 2 actually will change. These two will be same. So I have given in table 1 H equal to 0.1 at t equal to 1. You go to the next slide, H equal to 0.0. See, this is better when I reduce this H step length. OK, if you see previous one, this was not so good, but this is better. So then errors also we have found for different H values for method 1 and method 2. Now take another application problem, that is fuzzy predator prey model, that is 2 by 2 simultaneous differential equation. So I have this X dash and Y dash like that. So again, we can convert into RCART, etc. Using these two methods. These are the solutions. I am going a little bit fast here. OK, so again, for different H, method 1 and H2, method 1 and 2, these are the solutions. This is Euler. This is method 1, method 2. Skipping this. So now method of weighted residuals, that means collocation method. OK, here we are, all, I hope that the collocation method, it is nothing but the given differential equation. I have to find the residue, and that residue I need to collocate in different points. So then we'll get the solution. And before that, actually, this dependent variable y I need to write in terms of a series. OK, so collocation method is very standard method for weighted residuals. Here, actually, we have implemented this for fuzzy differential equation. So fuzzy linear differential equation is given by this equation, y double double dash plus y is equal to minus t, where the here Gaussian fuzzy conditions we have taken, fuzzy initial conditions. So these are y and y dash with respect to fuzziness. So Bede in 2008, they have given the exact fuzzy solution for this problem. Here we are doing in terms of this collocation method. So I told you need to find R tilde, that means your residue. So I have taken 3-term solution, C0, C1, and C2 with tilde, and then collocate at 0 and half and 1. OK, so I will get 6 variables because C did not tilde, C1 tilde, C2 tilde. In terms of interval, if I write, so I have 6 constants, C0 lower, C0 upper, C1 lower, C1 upper, C2 lower, C2 upper. So I will get AX equal to B form, and this I can solve. So after solving, I can put these C values and I will get the solution. So the C y lower TR is this and y upper TR is this, and bottom I have given the fuzzy solution using the proposed method. See, the solution is also coming as TFN. This is 3-dimensional plot. If you see, this is triangular shape. OK, sorry, this is triangular shape. So these are digital values of those solution, y lower, y upper, y upper, yes, for r equal to 0 to 1. So different solutions I am getting for t equal to 0.01. Now taking Galerkin method. Again, Galerkin method is what? Given a differential equation, again we find the residue depending upon what y you are taking as series solution. So putting there in the solution, so you'll get a residue, and then integrate this R with different coefficient of that series solution. So we have a fuzzy boundary condition here, y tilde 0 and y tilde 1 as like this. So exact fuzzy solution again given by Bede in 2008. So these are the lower and upper values where R is there, R cut. So by applying this Galerkin method, we have this again system of equation where R is there. So the solution I can write like this, and the fuzzy solution at t equal to 0.1 These are the solution, y lower and y upper, etc. Okay. Now coming to those are all ordinary differential equation. For fuzzy partial differential equation also, we can use the same alpha, that double parameter solution. So this is the CTR, it is there, R is there, then beta fuzzy initial condition is there. So beta I have introduced here, equation 7.5. Then again, it is converted to R beta form. So this is symbolically I can solve and find the solution, put values of R beta, you will get the fuzzy or interval solution. Okay, now coming to another practical problem, I will take again from civil engineering side, that is uncertain beam, vibration of beam, where again fuzzy finite element method we have used with uncertain material properties. See, we have divided into 3 elements, where I have these are node 1, node 2, node 3, node 4. So all these finite element we did discretized with these 3 finite element. So these are the displacement, and this is the actually typical beam element, and these I are for elements. And remember, we have taken these parameters, means parameters as the that uncertain. So these are standard finite element. Okay, so I'm not going into these details. So these are for kinetic and potential energies we need to use there. And finally, we get the mass and stiffness matrix. So you see mi u dot plus ki u is equal to 0. So this where mi defined by this rho I, ai, li by 420, and this is the matrix, square matrix, and ki is the stiffness matrix. These are for different ith elements. So I have 3 elements. So three different mi, m, and k will get. So after substituting this u means simple harmonic motion, etc., we to the power I omega t, I will get again an eigenvalue problem. And I already defined, mentioned how to solve those eigenvalue problem. So those eigenvalue problem can be solved, and we can found the frequency. So now, if that is crisp or is exact, no problem, you can solve very well using any software or by hand. This is very simple problem, so you can solve by hand also using taking 3 elements. Okay, so now if it is fuzzy problem, so then eigenvalue will be in terms of fuzzy. That means the frequency will be in terms of interval. Okay, depending upon alpha cut. So homogeneous case, let us take. So first, we have 3 types of area of cross section, moment of inertia, and length. Okay, so if I take this ai, li, and this is li and this l as ly3 actually. So taking I equal to 1, 2, 3, 3 elements, and Young's modulus and density we have taken as TFN, triangular fuzzy number. You see 3 components are there here, Young's modulus and density. So using intervals through alpha cut, this Young's modulus and density can be written in terms of that intervals. Here you see alpha is introduced. Now, the solution I am showing directly, that is for the eigenvalues, because again introducing beta, etc. These are the lower values, lambda 1 lower and then lambda 1 upper. As we change these alpha values from 0 to 1, so these first 2 rows, or rather first means second and third rows, will give you the interval solution of different frequencies or lambda. Similarly, next is lambda 2, second, then third, then fourth. So this is for homogeneous beam. Okay, then fifth, then sixth. So these are the eigenvalue plot. See, you see in general we get eigenvalues as single number. Again, you see these fuzzy eigenvalues are in terms of TFN, that is triangular fuzzy number. This is the first eigenvalue, this is second eigenvalue. Okay, this is third, this is fourth, fifth, this is sixth. Now, again coming to another application problem with respect to multi-story shear structure. So actually it is actually very generalized form of shear structure. Actually structure or building structure is a 3-dimensional problem. Actually I have taken, I am showing this as like this, but in general we are taking as a spring mass system, where these columns we suppose that springs and these masses m1, m2, mn as the mass, means that is spring mass, spring having a stiffness as k1, K2, Kn, and see the tildes are there. That means uncertainties are there. Similarly, masses M1 tilde, M2 tilde, Mn tilde. Now problem formulation is that see Ki tilde and Mi tilde, those stiffness. This Ki means K1 to Kn, Mi means M1 to Mn, depending upon the how many stories are there. So Ki tilde we have taken as TFN, that is Ki lower, Ki and Ki upper. This we call as center value. Similarly, Mi tilde, Mi lower, Mi and Mi upper. So again 3 elements. So these are TFNs, and this is for TFN. Similarly, some other sets also for other problem with trapezoidal fuzzy number. If I take this Ki and Mi, then it will be in terms of 4 components or 4 elements. Ki lower, then Ki this with bracket, Ki upper bracket, Ki upper. So 4 elements will be there. So this is trapezoidal fuzzy number. So after using all Newton's law, etc., with all physics and mathematics, differential equation, if I simplify, then you will get an eigenvalue problem. That is K tilde W tilde is equal to lambda tilde M tilde W tilde. So that building problem actually converted to generalized eigenvalue problem. And why we call it generalized? Because you see right hand side also I have a square matrix. In general, I have Ax equal to lambda x eigenvalue problem. Here it is generalized because left and right side we have full 2 by 2 matrix. K is stiffness matrix, M is mass matrix. Now the shape of this matrix, if you derive all those equations, again I am not showing here all those equations. This stiffness matrix, it is actually tridiagonal matrix if you see. So this is the K1 plus K2 with all tilde minus K2, first row I am telling, then second row minus K2 tilde, then K2 tilde plus K3 tilde, etc. So up to n you will get this is n by n matrix, stiffness matrix, and mass matrix in generalized form you will get a diagonal matrix. Although you will not get in general every time, it depends upon it is shear structure we have taken with ambient vibration, etc. Symmetricity, etc. we have taken into consideration. So this is a diagonal matrix, M1 tilde, M2 tilde, Mn minus 1 tilde, Mn tilde, and W tilde is a vector. So see here all these elements are uncertain. Stiffness matrix, that means all stiffnesses are uncertain, and M tilde all masses are uncertain, and W tilde automatically, because those are uncertain, so W tilde displacement will be uncertain. So then using alpha cut approach, that eigenvalue problem can be written in terms of K1 tilde alpha, W tilde alpha is equal to lambda tilde alpha, M tilde alpha, W tilde alpha. So this is in alpha cut form. So K1 tilde, K tilde and M tilde will be in terms of alpha, W also will be in terms of alpha, where Ki alpha form, Mi alpha also interval form, like that. Whatever you take, TFN or TRFN. So now taking this 5-story shear building, suppose I have 5 stories. So taking triangular and trapezoidal fuzzy number. So case 1, that is very simple, that is exact values we have, that is the crisp problem. You can solve by hand because it is 5 by 5 matrix, or using MATLAB or whatever, or any software, other softwares. So stiffness and mass suppose are crisp, so you can solve it directly. So K1, K2 up to K5, those are fixed numbers. M1 to M5 are also fixed numbers. So then that eigenvalue problem will be 5 by 5. So here very easily we can find the eigenvalues crisply, means exactly. So these are the 5 eigenvalues are corresponding, these are the eigenvectors. Okay. So whatever problem, actually if you have eigenvalue problem or system of equations, I have taken here several problems. So in your case also, if you have eigenvalue problem, so same you have to solve this eigenvalue problem, whatever method you use. Okay. So now taking this stiffness matrix and mass matrix as triangular fuzzy number, what will happen then? Then K1 tilde will have again 3 elements, K2 tilde 3 elements, like that, all these up to K tilde, K5 tilde. And these masses also will be in terms of 3 elements. So what we can do, we can convert this to alpha cut form. So we'll get the interval. Okay. So now you see using alpha cut, we have converted this to alpha cut form. Okay. So K1 alpha up to K5 alpha. Similarly, M1 alpha up to M5 alpha. So applying the proposed method that we have already shown. So these are the left bound for the triangular fuzzy material properties. So you see, if I change alpha from 0 to 1, these are the lambda 1 lower alpha, second row, and corresponding to that lower alpha, lower lambda 1. So these are the eigenvectors, W1 lower. Similarly, the next is lambda 2 lower. So these are the lower values, this table. Okay, that means left side. Similarly, we have the 5 eigenvalues lower and corresponding to those 5 eigenvectors depending upon whatever alpha values are there. So all these you can get, and then the right bounds of these are this table 2b. So here the upper values of lambda 1 lower, lambda 2 lower up to lambda 5 lower and corresponding eigenvectors. If you combine these two tables, you will have the interval solution of all those eigenvalues and eigenvectors. Those are actually frequency and mode shapes, those who are from civil engineering department. Okay. So actually in a special case also we compared in interval things. So interval stiffness, those taking all these from that paper. So we have compared this. So these are the left values using those data. These are the right values, and this is the comparison with same material. Okay, in 2007 they have obtained these eigenvalues, and this is the present method eigenvalues. These are the first natural frequency, second natural frequency, again in terms of TFN, triangular fuzzy number. If you take all those alpha values and plot these, so you'll get lambda lower and lambda upper like this. So you see it is the monotonically increasing left side, first triangle, and monotonically decreasing lambda 1 upper. So you are getting fuzzy solution also varying alpha. Similarly, second natural frequency, lambda 2 lower and lambda 2 upper. This is your third natural frequency. This is your fourth natural frequency. This is fifth natural frequency. Now you can see the mode shapes. See, actually, if you zoom this, you can see the distinction. Actually, these all due to the scaling. All these are all actually showing that same, but is not. So this is for with respect to first one. Using those eigenvectors we have means plotted this the mode shapes. This is the first one, second one, third, fourth, and fifth. This is for alpha 0 and 1 triangular fuzzy number. Okay, this is for different alpha also I have plotted alpha 0.6, alpha 0, etc. Okay, so before going into parameter identification, I may take there at the most 20-25 minutes. So if you have any confusion, any means clarification or any simple question you may ask now, then I will start this parameter identification. Hello? Hello?
Hello, sir.
So if you have simple query, so you can ask or I can continue otherwise. I should continue?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So next is parameter identification. See, parameter identification is nothing but actually estimation of the parameter. See, we have two types of problem in general, engineering or science problem, direct problem or inverse problem. So direct problems where we have been given all the parameter values and we find the response. Okay, so that is your forward problem. This is usually we do. Now inverse problem actually, or that is the identification problem, is that we have the response, we need to know the parameter values. Okay, that is very actually important and challenging also, because inverse problem sometimes gives non-unique solution. Okay, so I will just give an example before this. What is system identification? I will give an example of day-to-day life that we are facing, that estimation problem. Suppose I have fever. So if I have fever, I go to a doctor, and that fever is for what? That actually we have to diagnose. So I have fever, that means I have the response. I need to know why that means fever is there. So doctor does what? Doctor does different experiments or different tests. Test means blood test, maybe urine test, maybe different tests depending upon the severity of the fever. So now you have the test data. So using those test data, you want to know why that fever is. So again, if you see those tests, though we all know that whenever you are doing some testing for blood test or some test, so those values you are getting a single number or single number, but the standard value are given in terms of interval. That means again that is uncertain. Okay. Even blood pressure also, if I want to measure, that is also we have an interval. If suppose I have 139, whether it is okay or not. Again, if it is falling in that interval, that means I am okay. Okay. So that's why. So see, that means using those response means those test data, I want to know the system. System means I want to know the system of my health. That is health is my system. What is our my health means how what for this disease is this, and that for that disease doctor prescribe the medicine. So that is in general a simple example. Now if you see this flow chart, I have a system. So left side and right side, if you see left side is computational model, right side is test model. So you can test that using whatever system you have. So you test, you get the dynamical behavior or whatever behavior response, etc., depending upon your problem, maybe metallurgical, civil, mechanical, or whatever. And the left side, same system we can define by some computational model, means some physical system, mean that system I can convert to some modeling, and that modeling I can solve by some computations model or methods, and then predict the dynamic behavior or the response. So now this is the left side behavior and right side behavior. Right side behavior came from test model and left side behavior came from computational model. Now I want to compare with these two. Now, if those are matching, that means your computational model is correct. Okay. If those are not matching, then see test model I cannot adjust because whatever experiment you are doing, maybe uncertainty will be there, but whatever you are getting again and again, some fluctuation will be there, but the behavior will be getting same. But in computation, because depending upon the modeling and the method you are using, you can play with that. So if this comparison is not good, then what we will do? We will do the parameter adjustment. If suppose this is X, so I will give you here X plus delta X or X minus delta X. So again, here I will introduce that, and then after introducing this comparison you will do, and then if when it is this comparison is good with respect to the user, so then sorry, meeting chal raha hai. Hello meeting. Hello. So this parameter adjustment we will do. So then after parameter adjustment, when these comparisons will be same means with some accuracy, then we will stop there. Then we'll think that yes, our computational model is correct. So in this way, this parameter we can find for what parameter this left side and right side actually becomes more or less equal. So that parameter we can identify. So this is the actually theory or the physics or behind this, that why this system identification, how this system identification works. That is parameter identification. So here we have taken a simple problem to make you understand. Suppose I have this two-story frame structure where again I have K1, K2, K3, K4 are the stiffnesses of these columns. So again, see, I have told this is we are doing the uncertainty also here. So this mass again in terms of TFN, K stiffness is also in terms of TFN. So we are assuming also K1, K2 equal, K3, K4 equal. So anyway, so we'll convert this to eigenvalue problem. Mx dot plus kx is equal to 0. So if we can solve like this, means I told you how to solve if it is uncertainty. So now I am not going into those details. So I can find here the eigenvalue. Actually, this will convert to eigenvalue problem equation 2. That is k tilde x tilde is equal to w lambda tilde m tilde x tilde. So using alpha cut, etc. So those eigenvalues I can find. Now see the logic, means states. So now if I want to identify, see this is the problem. I want to identify, see this building suppose constructed maybe 50 years back. Okay. So I want to know today what is the health of this building. Health means what are the stiffnesses of these columns, because if columns stiffness are reduced much, it may fail. Okay, so I want to know the estimation of this stiffness parameter. That is our aim. That means 50 years before I know the design of this structure, and I know if the design is known, I know what are the eigenvalues and eigenvectors for the mass, stiffness, etc. 50 years back. But today I cannot experiment directly there, but I can use the sensors and all. I can find those frequency, etc. And from those frequencies, etc., I can find the today's stiffness. What is the today? So that is our aim. So that is why you see now, you see this slide. So the parameter identified, suppose, are pi tilde. Okay. Now, uncertain value of structural parameter of the prior original structure means 50 years back. Suppose we denote by pi tilde cap. And the corresponding fuzzy eigenvalues are symbolized because I told that 50 years before, if I have the properties of these parameters or the structural parameters, then I can find these eigenvalues for those means 50 years back actually, eigenvalues, eigenvectors, etc. So using this and the current experimental values, then we want to find these structural parameters today's. Okay, then I can say, seeing those values of the stiffness, whether the structure is safe or not. And this procedure can be used for any other problems. Okay, suppose I want to know the damage in aeroplane or something, means this small idea can be extended. So we use Taylor series here. So up to first term. So this is the lambda tilde p tilde that we have to find is equal to lambda tilde cap p tilde cap plus s tilde into this subtraction, where this p tilde is you want to know, and p tilde cap actually the 50 years before properties, and s tilde is the eigenvalue partial derivative matrix. So using equation 3, we will actually find. So before that, you see, now I need to do the experiment with that structure. So suppose from experimental measurement, those uncertain eigenvalues I get as lambda e tilde. So now here, if you can see, it is interesting to note if the values of initial and experimental parameters are equal, means 50 years before eigenvalue I have found and today's from experiment eigenvalues I have found, if those are same, that means your structure is totally safe, no change. But if not, then what are those stiffnesses? So that is why if it is not, then I denote by this change delta lambda tilde is equal to lambda e tilde minus lambda tilde cap, where this modified parameter I write as p tilde dash. Okay. So using that equation 3, this equation 3, I can write this equation 6. Okay. So this I want p tilde dash. So using this, see here we all know p tilde cap, q tilde, delta lambda. All we know using your previous values and current eigenvalues. So using all this, we will have the iterative methods. Means from here we can iterate. Actually, suppose some value of this parameter you suppose and iterate till this equation 4 is accepted. Accepted means with some accuracy. Okay. So that I have written here. So let us take the numerical example. Two-story frame structure I have shown. So I will take two-story structure. So here M TFN we have taken. K1, K2 I have told that K1 is equal to K2 we have taken, and K3 tilde equal to K4 tilde. So these are again TFN. M and K I can write in terms of alpha cut. So then for this eigenvalues I can write, because I have already mentioned how to find those eigenvalues for with alpha cut. Okay, so these are the lambda 1 and lambda 2 in terms of TFN. Suppose this is found. Now today's, and see, these data are previous 50 years back. Suppose now today's, suppose these eigenvalues from experiment are given like this. Okay, so using this and using the modeling that the procedure that I have already defined, already discussed, you see the next table and next figures we have identified these parameters. Okay, so these are the K1 tilde and K2 tilde for different alpha. So these are the lower and upper bounds of the stiffness parameters. That means K1 tilde, K2 tilde, and K3 tilde, K4 tilde. Okay. So these are the identified lower and upper bounds of stiffness parameter, right? And these are the identified lower and upper bounds for the stiffness. That is K1 and K2. This is K3. Now I take another set of experimental fuzzy set. So I have changed little bit this lambda 1e and lambda 2e with del tilde, and then again simulated, and these are the values of stiffness parameters. Okay, and these are the plots for identified lower and upper bounds of stiffness parameters. These are for K3. So so what means my aim actually has been to find the health of the system presently, what is there, using the experimental data and the 50 years before data. Okay, then we used that iterative method with uncertainty that I already told, and this procedure you can use very well, although there are actually this iteration actually requires more time actually. So if you do more iteration, the more better results you will be getting. Okay, so these ideas can be extended to your problems. So coming to the last two problems that I told, I will give only the idea, just a very little work we have done. We are in the process of doing more. So interval uncertainty based estimation of corona positive cases. So this is the actually need of the hour for all of us. So that is why we are meeting means actually virtually. Anyway, so this estimation of positive cases for Odisha and India. So this is, see, this is there need to be many things to do for this model. Just an idea how to use interval uncertainty. Don't go about the results. Although results are okay type, but I should not say, because I have taken only 7 days data in July 2020. Okay, and then we predicted the in interval form. So this is the actually these are the three models I've taken. Okay, linear, quadratic, and exponential type. You see, these are the exact values, and these are the interval form of the number of the 7545 on 1st July. So this 7545 belongs to this here 75207811. So using those data, these are the estimation that we have done for next 7 days using Odisha data that time in 2020. So this table shows that. The next table is for India data. So here, if you see the first day, it is 61st July, it is 605220. So again, it lies in this exponential one. Although we need to use their stochasticity also. See, one challenging problem is also here I have already only told about the fuzziness and that interval. So one challenging problem is also about combining this interval and fuzzy uncertainty with stochastic uncertainty. Okay, so this stochastic uncertainty, how it can be means combined, that is a challenge. So actually in this type of problems we need to combine. So that is why we need to have those models. Actually people are doing, and some results are there, but we are doing on these directions anyway. So these are for this Odisha and India data long back in 2020, means when last surge of COVID. So next is shallow water wave equation, that is the tsunami. So here again linear and non-linear shallow water wave equations. So if you see the waves, so this lower bed, that is the basin, and the x-axis given, this is the height. So this height of the sea we cannot measure exactly. So again their uncertainty will come. So that is why for different h taking as interval, we have actually computed this wave actually on the seashore, how the waves amplitude will be there, etc. Okay, that is the gist of this. So only I'll show two plots of this that we have solved. So interval shallow water wave equations. So this is for taking h as the interval as 0.1 and 0.2 for t equal to 1, 10 second and t equal to 5 second. So lower, upper and center, these are the plots. This is for linear and this is for non-linear shallow water wave equations, taking here each again interval as 0.1 and 0.2. So with this, these are the major references. So there are many means in terms of interval and fuzzy. We can see my papers also from Google. These are can go through and see those finite element and all. I already discussed that these are there that we have published a book on interval finite element method. So there you can have the, if you have interval, you can extend this to fuzzy using another beta. Okay. So here this book, their modules are also given, means programming modules, how to handle those. And this is another book. You can see their uncertainty modeling, different problems. This books again you can go through concepts of soft computing, fuzzy, and ANN is there, but fuzzy part I am presenting, so fuzzy is there. Then this book is again important by CRC Press, that is fuzzy differential equations and applications. Here you can get all those details, whatever I presented, how to solve those. Okay. And this is fuzzy arbitrary order system that I have not presented. That is when your differential equations is of arbitrary order or fractional order, and along with your fuzzy uncertainty. So there again all the problems are solved. You can go through this. This is another book, right hand side. And this is the again computational fuzzy mathematics. Here some biology related problems are there with respect to invasive plants, actually botany. And this is nuclear, neutron related, neutron diffusion, etc. are there. Again, some problems are solved there. This is some two recent time. Here fractional order biological systems are there in this book, and here uncertain static and dynamic problems are there. So those who are interested, they can go through these books and papers in detail. I hope you liked all this, and this is the journal that we are publishing from InderScience, Fuzzy International Journal of Fuzzy Computation and Modeling. So by the way, I am the chief editor. So those who are interested or are working in this direction, they can send papers in this journal. And so now finally, if you have any simple questions or clarity or ambiguity, so you can ask. So thank you very much. So yeah, I hope
Thank you so much,
enjoyed.
sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much for your nice teaching and lecturing and things. We learned a lot of things. Now, any attendance, any participant want to ask question, please write in chat box. I'll ask on behalf of you the questions or doubts. Please, if it is not chat box, is not there, so you can write also in the WhatsApp. I can ask the question now. And regarding attendance, we'll also provide one Google form. There you can fill up, and also we'll also tally with the your MS Team attendance. Okay. So for there, I am waiting for your any doubt, any questions. If there is no doubt, no question, then again I want to thank Professor Chakraborty, Professor Snehashish Chakraborty sir, for his.
Thank you for giving me the opportunity to discuss.
Thank you so much, sir,
yeah.
and for your kind.
I hope all of you have enjoyed this. I don't know how
Yes,
far.
yes, yes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. So I am again formally thank you and closing this session. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you so much,
Thank you
sir.
very much.
Thank you, everybody, every esteemed participants.
Thanks to the organizer. Thanks to the participants for their patience hearing. Thank you very much. Okay.
Thank you.